we're gonna get old one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our parents are gonna get old. What's it gonna look like for them?
Mm-hmm.
What's it gonna look like for our parents when it comes down to the retirement, the retirement plan?
It's looking scary for a lot of people. It's definitely looking scary
Have
for
y'all
our
ever
generation.
discussed this with y'all parents
Bro,
and family?
my mom's retired and she still try to
Oh,
grind.
so she's already retired.
She retired, yeah. She's retired.
Yeah,
You
my
ever had
mom-
that conversation?
Yeah, she's thinking about it, but she's saying like I'm not working till I can't no more. I still have some energy. She's already thinking
I hear a
about
lot of that.
having some energy, so she's like I'm gonna still work a little bit, you know. Ooh.
Yeah.
Apologize. Hold on,
Que no
guys.
se te caiga el
Don't want to
micrófono.
have all this.
That's what scares my mom too, Ralph. Like, it's mostly she thinks like if she slows down, that might slow her down.
Mm-hmm.
So she wants to keep on working until she's like,
Yeah.
okay, or keep active.
Yeah, before she starts collecting too,
Mm.
because the collection money they ain't gonna get a lot of money from Social
Yeah.
Security.
It's like everything ties together. We've talked about inflation.
Mm-hmm.
Like the side effects of all that is the parents, the elderly that have to depend on them checks that
Mhm.
are worth nothing
Yeah,
when you look at inflation, when you think about the prices, how everything's going up, and you're giving me $600 thinking I can survive off that a month.
especially when you expenses. When you
Word.
freaking rent is $1,000
Bro,
more.
where in New Jersey?
1,000.
I'm just being generous.
Yo, a one
Yeah.
bedroom is $1,700.
Easy,
Word.
easy.
You know what I mean? And that is the type of thing that it doesn't fall on the government. It falls on our parents, ourselves, and our kids.
We're the one who gotta think
we
about
gotta
that.
we gotta think about that now, and we have to act on it now, because you can tell the government ain't trying to pay for it.
Nah, and that's
Not
that's
at
the
all.
thing at all.
They ain't with it.
Like right now, they barely like managing to pay Social Security. By the time our age group is retired, they probably ain't gonna have that anymore. You know, like right now is if you look up at the news right now, like people are retiring way later, either retiring way later or they retire and then they gotta come back to work because they're like, oh, nah, I'm not making enough money. I gotta go right back and do something else, and it's harder for them because they're older. And you know, a lot of companies don't want to
hire them.
They don't want to hire old people. They be like, you pretty much, what can you do for us? You know what I mean? But they're overlooking the fact that they have more experience, depending on what kind of field they're trying to work in.
Bro,
Like,
they
you
be
know,
in
older people have
Walmart
more experience.
collecting the damn receipts and shit.
Yeah.
Bro, it's too much technology for old heads to keep up and become an asset to companies that are
Word.
depending
They're moving
on
quick
technology.
too, and they're moving quick.
Bro,
Technology moving quick.
If y'all even notice, a lot of these stores are moving away from cashiers, bro.
Yeah.
Even restaurants like McDonald's. I noticed McDonald's even has like you order your own food. Soon enough, bro, they're not gonna be no cashiers.
They taking the jobs
Yeah.
from teenagers, a lot of teenagers, because that's primarily like young kids
Yep.
that work in the cashiers
That's
and older
another
folks.
thing that the argument has always been, well, McDonald's is not for the adults, it's for 16-year-olds that are in
Their
coming
first
out of high
job,
school, their first
yeah.
job. They're designed for that, but more and more elderly people are taking those roles,
Mm-hmm.
and those people have been complaining about the pay because, again, it wasn't structured for them. So now
Yeah.
you see, you know, Wendy's, and that's just an example. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's true, but all these fast food restaurants, or many of them, upping up the
pay.
$15 an hour, and you're at, you know, for me to look at that and be like, damn, there's people that are in professional fields
Yeah.
getting $15
Bro.
an hour.
Yeah.
Listen,
Jobs
to this
ain't loyal,
shit,
man.
bro. I was making more than some college graduates with masters. Bro.
Yeah.
My salary was higher than college, like people with college masters, bro.
Yeah.
That was mind blowing to me, bro.
Because nowadays, I mean, it's hard for our generation to transition off of that. Like, college is the only way. College is the best way. I mean, college is important for certain areas, but like nowadays, things are changing so quick that the curriculums can't keep up with the new work categories that we have nowadays, especially with technology. You know what I mean? Everything is changing so quick that school can't keep up with
Bro.
it. You know what I mean? So it's like school is becoming a little bit more relevant or a little bit more outdated. You know?
But that, again, that goes into, you know, the side effects and how things are going to shift. I was just talking about that shit with my mother, and I was like, yo, there's a strong possibility that just because of COVID-19 and the Delta variant and all the other variants, that school can become obsolete, meaning the physical aspect of high school, grammar school, because there's teachers that are like, yo, y'all don't pay us enough to go and risk our life, first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, there's no type of funding to protect ourselves from this disease, this virus. And third of all, these families, these parents, they don't feel safe dropping their kids off.
Yeah.
Some of them don't have the immune system built like other kids, and they're like, yo, homeschooling is an option. Digital school and classes is an option. So and that also could be a way where I see the benefit for a teacher, where you eliminate the physical aspect of it and up the pay on the teachers. Because now you're cutting expenses as far as how to run the school system. Now you have a virtual school for kids.
I could see it being more of a hybrid. I could see it because at the end of the day, man, kids like to socialize. You
Oh, no,
gotta
you
go
need
to
it.
school
You
and
need it.
socialize. And the same thing with college. The college experience is not the same if you're doing it from home and meeting people. Like I feel like that's important, but it's gonna be like a hybrid. I see it coming more like a hybrid, man.
Now,
Bro, this is
now,
crazy.
now, envision it being the year 2030, and we're still dealing with a plethora of fucking viruses.
Hey, man. I mean, it's likely because people saying the ice is melting, meaning that in the ice there's little bubbles of airs that've been there for like thousands of years. You know what I mean? They've been holding on to certain diseases too. So now that as the ice is melting, certain diseases are being freed. Like our air is changing.
That have zero history and cure. So those would be things
So
that
that could
need
be
to
something
be
that could affect us.
studied for years to be able to find the cure for some of those things. And
Yeah.
I did say on a skit, fuck global warming. I said that shit respectfully, but I believe in it. Climate change is real.
No, it
in
is
my
real. It is real.
perspective, I think there's enough facts out there to prove that we're destroying the earth. You want to say something?
Yeah, there's an island that's actually going underwater.
Yeah.
They're actually sending their people to Australia and Europe so they could settle down and get their life going, because their island had many roads.
They migrating.
Now there's only one main road, and it's actually I'm talking about
The water, you can see it.
is on both sides. People are literally, their houses went from 2 rooms to a living room just because of the
The water.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
For the listeners, if you couldn't hear it clearly, he mentioned an island, unknown name. We'll try to find that information maybe if we remember for next episode what island that is. But an island that's going underwater and having to migrate its people over to Australia and other parts of Europe.
And that's gonna happen a lot more. People are underestimating what's going on.
I
man.
get scared when I think about shit like that. I think of DR, bro. I
I think
about
places
DR,
that
bro.
have history with like water being a factor in how they can disappear.
Yeah. That's a real thing.
And we're going dark again, guys. Hey, this is part of the show.
We're just talking about the future.
Yeah, we're talking.
Hey.
And I say we going dark because again, for some people, this conversation will
It's
give them
uncomfortable.
anxiety. It might get them uncomfortable.
But you need to be there though. Because you need to
Absolutely.
think about what the hell you're gonna do with your life. I mean, things are changing drastically. The way our parents lived is not gonna be the same tomorrow. Like things are always changing. You're changing as a human being. Our jobs are changing, like we just mentioned before. School systems is changing,
and we hate change.
No, we wanna hold on to the old thing. Our parents especially, they think that nothing's gonna change. Pensions, yo. I was watching this. I think it was Vice or something like that. Like pretty much giving us a narrow down about pensions. And how things are changing now. Like, how loyalty to your job was like a thing back in the day. They used to give you a ring and a watch, after you
Man,
retired.
they never give me
did 30
shit,
years.
bro.
They
Tres patas por un culo.
They
Tres
don't do
patas por
that.
el culo. Vete de ahí, asqueroso.
But because we easily replaceable now. Back then, though, people were, loyal to their jobs and the jobs were loyal to their people. Now they don't care about
Key
that.
word, bro. They treat you like you're fucking replaceable. Like
Because you are.
they don't give a frank,
We are just a number, my
a
friend.
frank-a-tang.
Because there's a
about
lot of
you.
more people
Yeah.
out there looking for the same job, trying to replace you for less pay.
Yes, sir.
They're thinking about all of that.
Yo, think about this. I was working for this company for a long time. I ain't gonna say the name and shit. I ain't trying to get sued by niggas and shit. You know what I'm saying? They gonna go back. They be trying to go back to old episodes. Like, you said this in 2000 something. Y'all ain't gonna do that to me. So I used to work for this company, bro. And what they started doing was, at first it was a bunch of full timers, right? then as people, as full timers either quit or were let go or whatever, bro, they just kept hiring part timers,
Cheaper, bro. It's cheaper.
and they became no full timers in the place. It was only like one person left that was a full timer. Exactly, they don't gotta pay benefits. They don't gotta pay nothing
They
extra.
don't gotta pay the whole hiring
nothing.
process. It's nothing, bro.
Nah, think about it like this as well. The companies that use those services of daily job sites, like what are they called?
Snag a job or Indeed.
Like companies. No, is that the same as like the agencias, the agencies?
No.
Okay, so like
no.
the agencies that have a bunch of people,
like
dropped
having
off in
online-
vans in different factories to work, and you'll have that job for a week, and then next week you're at another factory,
Yeah.
and then next week after that you're in another factory, and you might get lucky and go back to a place you actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like that's the lifestyle of many people. And these companies benefit from that way more because, again, you cut the benefits out, you cut the
hiring
401k,
process.
the hiring process, the pay, they settle for whatever.
Give
the
them
pay
rights
is.
at the end of the day, because if they do something you don't like or you just don't want to have them there anymore, you out. And tomorrow I don't even have to tell you. I call your agency. And do you know how crazy that is? They don't even tell you. They like call the agency like, yo, you know what? I don't want this guy
I
anymore.
don't need them.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then like they have to break that news to like.
And even if they
sucks.
keep you let's say for example they continue to hire you from the agency. We have a friend that went through that, right? That he worked, let's say 6 or 7 years, I think, in that company through an agency. They never hired him full time, and as soon as things went down south, they say, "Yo, you gotta go." And what are you gonna do? You're gonna go, but you benefited from all the pay like a regular employee. You took on all the jobs as a regular employee. You did everything that they asked of you, and you never got hired full time or directly through them because they were planning on booting your ass no matter what.
No, what really sucks is that when you work through the agency, the job could pay.
Your agency suck my dick.
Yo, so y'all know, you feel me? You want to make sure y'all hear that. Pretty much sum it. That's the way to sum it up. But the agency, let's say the job pays you $17 an hour. The agency is gonna pay you $14 an hour because
Yeah.
they gotta get their cut. So you imagine that.
And you know what's even more
Science,
fucked
bitch.
up about that? And they charge you for a ride. In some of these places, you can't even take your own fucking car.
Oh, I didn't know
Fuck
that.
you, agencies. Bro, I'm sorry. I went through the
Come tu
agency.
mojón con
Come tu
sal.
mojón.
Yo, my God,
Taco
jump
yuca.
out passionate.
Yo,
Jump
bro,
out to this
I went.
passionate.
Yo, bro, I
Nah, I
swear,
hear you.
bro.
Nah,
I
I've been
know.
there.
I know family
I
that
went
had to
through
go
that.
through that process because that's all they could find.
Yeah, no, I bet-
Absolutely,
I've
man.
been through
So
agencies
I do
myself.
appreciate that being the source for some people, like
It helps.
family members that come from Dominican Republic. They get on their feet by doing that, but at the same time they get abused. They get fucking
get the
lowballed
shits.
and take the shits
They
that
take the shits.
nobody else that in their right mind
Bro.
would, because they're uneducated on what's going on and they're being used.
Bro,
Period.
I went through a job like that, bro. I went through a job where, I was looking for whatever, and I took this low paying job just because I didn't want to be in the streets, and I just wanted something to keep just pay my bills and do shit.
Yeah.
And the job hired a lot of people through the agency. And bro, the way they used to try to talk to people, you know me, that's my first time working through. I'm talking I walked out and I'm like, yo, who the fuck you think you talking to, bro? But imagine the people that don't know English, don't know nothing,
Don't have an option
don't
in
have
your mind.
nothing.
They
don't
might
have
be
no
borrowing
options.
somebody's papers
Yup.
to work, so they
Yup.
gotta take the shit.
They
And the
gotta
boss
take all that
knows
bullshit.
that, so they take advantage. And if
Absolutely.
you play them on the days they want you in, and if you're not doing overtime, not getting paid overtime, and you resist that, you'll get some threats. Or you get
Absolutely.
silently lowballed or blackballed out of the job. Like all that shit happens. So, we're blessed again when we think about our situations. There's somebody else that can be doing worse, man. But when you think about your experience, right? Like if the job would have paid you more, would you have still stayed there? Like, and when I mean
No.
more, I mean more than you've ever seen.
Nah, cause I walked away from a $50,000 job and pretty much said, "Fuck y'all," and respectfully, money is not gonna get in the way of my integrity, bro, of my values and what I believe in. Y'all could keep that fucking money. I'm gonna get another job and I'm gonna make money somewhere else. But they're not gonna play me like I'm some bro. Fuck that. Money is not like we need money to live and survive. But I swear to you, you don't gotta believe me, bro. God gonna make a way for you. As cliche as that shit sound. If you believe in him, bro, he got you.
Amen.
He got you.
I agree on that aspect, and I think that when I believe that he got me, it also comes through the work I put in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I never want to sell myself short and just sit and pray like some people do, expecting something to change and not doing the work. Like, I think that, you know, when we talk about money, man, it's a touchy subject, but it's something that we all need to live.
Yeah.
Right? And everything that we have discussed from the beginning of this episode, in some way, some shape or form, money is
Involved.
in the center and is involved.
You need it to
Root.
live because life is getting more expensive.
Word.
That's something that a lot of people are ignoring. Inflation is. We
Word.
talked about inflation a little bit. This year we have seen a spike like never before. Like such a drastic, quick spike. But that's life overall. It's always gonna keep going up. Expenses keep going up. That's why our parents gotta keep working to the 70s. And right now we're living longer. And that's something that I want people to think about too. Like, we're gonna be living longer. Retirement ain't gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a thing of the past by the time it's our turn. By the time we hit 70, by the time we hit, you know what I mean, almost 80. What is retirement? We gotta talk about it to our grandkids. Like, yo, my grandpa, man, my mom, man, she lived through that. She enjoyed it. We can't reap off of that. And our kids, hell no. So it's like, now we gotta work on a new system. And we gotta figure out, like, where do we see each other? Where do we see ourselves in the 50s? Because the government gotta take care of us. We gotta take care of ourselves. If we don't want to keep working, you know, until we die, literally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
That's
another.
like, I wish I was getting an extra 600. I missed out on that wave. We ain't gonna talk about that right now.
But hey, but look into.
It's like what you saying though. We ain't gonna get that. Yeah, it's like I get it. I ain't get that.
But look, but we smile too, because we know when we make money too, we like making money. But at the same time, it's like, do you think money makes you happy?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, why not?
Because I done got things that it gives you a temporary it gives me, let me keep it on the eye.
Yeah.
It gives me a temporary relief. Like it gives me also a sense of power, a sense of stability. It does that for me. But does it make me happy? No. It lessens the stresses of surviving. It takes that stressor away. You know what I mean? But does it make me happy? Nah.
Can I ask a question? And I think that we can all challenge each other's perspective as well, right? Now, losing money, does it make you angry?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Right. So it
But that's
create-
being
but- so-
careless.
so-
That's because that's
okay.
like being careless of it. Yeah.
So I relate money, you know, to some way connect emotionally with us.
Yeah.
Is you can see that money can make you angry. Not having it can make you angry as well as losing it, right? So I do believe money can make you happy, right? It can complement your happiness. It can make you happy. I like it can bring some sense of joy on what you can do with that money. So it does make you happy, because when you get money that can pay your mother's rent, you're happy.
Yeah.
Because of this money, I'm able to do that for my mother. Because of this money, I'm able to buy this for my kid. Because of this money, I'm able to do X, Y, Z.
But what if you do all those things and you still don't feel happy?
I think that then that's when you're supposed to question
That's an internal issue then.
what's
within
wrong
yourself.
with me inside.
Where am I lacking at? Because at least you have
Yeah.
everything taken care of. You know what I mean? When it comes to your family and your survival. Because you said you need money to survive. But once that's taken care of, you don't have to stress it anymore. You know, after that, okay, like, what can I do to please myself now, to make me happy? Why
So
is
now,
it that,
what is it that I love?
where
what
can
is
I
it
invest
that-
that? And you
yeah.
know, well, to do what you love is going to cost you money. To make music, you got to either go to a studio and put money in there or buy your equipment. That's money. You know what I mean? The same thing when it comes to doing this, what we're doing right now. We got to pay for this stuff. You know what I mean? We got to pay guys to come over here. So it's like, you know, it's all about where you put your money at, I feel like, when it comes to your happiness. You know what I mean? So it's an intricate question.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
money in and of
because-
itself, it's like, yeah, it doesn't make me happy, but what I could do with it does. You know?
Exactly.
the
So
thing.
you,
What
so
it-
you
what
don't
it
want to
do.
say that the fact that you have money, it would allow you to be happy. If you don't have it, you're unhappy. No,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying that in some way, whatever comes attached to that money can add on
Yeah.
to your current state. Now, granted, do I think you have to be happy to be able to receive that money that you so long for? Absolutely. I think that the people that complain and think that they don't have money will always be in that cycle of not having money, because you're already creating that cycle for yourself. And we can get, you know, real deep when it comes to like how your brain attracts what you experience in life a lot as well. So when I think about that, I think that question can stump anybody, because you don't want to sound shallow and say money makes me happy.
Yeah.
You might be the person that grew up in a home where they believed that being humble and happy meant that you couldn't have what rich people do.
I grew up in that home, you know, but then, you know, I had an epiphany, a life epiphany. It just like opened my eyes and if that, man, money makes me happy. It will make me happy because I know what I could do with it. I know what I would do with it. You know, I know who I could help with it. You know what I mean? So that's why I say it's an intricate question because, yeah, having it, like you said, having it just sitting there, it's not going to make you happy because it's sitting there. But if you do something productive with it, you know what I mean, to enhance your happiness, like you said.
So it's like knowledge is power when applied type of thing.
Yeah, when applied correctly.
Money just amplifies more of who you are. And if you're rich and unhappy, you were probably unhappy before you got rich.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And whatever made you unhappy could be some of the things you experienced because you didn't have money. But now those things are traumas that need healing. Some people think that money can heal those traumas. No. Money can help you navigate through life and do some of the things that you're not able to do because society requires you to have this in order to do that and have that. But whatever you're struggling with, we try to connect it with money and say, oh, look at that person. He had all the money in the world, but he wasn't happy. And now they're scared of being rich because they don't want to live that. They don't want, they're like, well, if it's going to take money, right? If money's gonna make me happy, but then I'm gonna end up like that person, I don't want it, right? And we hear that in our household, like, yo, money is the root of all evil, right? So we get these ideologies installed in our brain, and when we're older, we're experiencing traumas due to the lack of money. And now, when we have money, right, we feel like we either have to just compensate for all the things we did, but we like to understand that there's things internally that we got to work on, right? And money sometimes allows you to have that because if you have money, you can go out and seek help, go to therapy. If you have money, you can go out and live and get out of the hood and stop experiencing the daily cycle of what the hood brings. Like, it exposes you to a different type of treatment you can give yourself. Like, I relate it to what Nipsey would say a lot, and I think this would go over a lot of people's head where he says, I was on defense mode. Living in the hood, I was always on defense. Now I want to be on the offense, meaning I'm not constantly, prepared to lose it all, having to fight and just take life's blows. Now I can kind of just move on my own terms, and life can come at me, and I can kind of just be on the offense of things, running through, trying to get through this life and keep winning. Yeah. When we're in defense mode, we're just trying to embrace the hits. And those are the two things that I feel like money would do for you. Now, yes, is there people that, go on the greed side of things? And again, that's just amplifying a little bit of who you are or who you are. Yeah. So, like, my main thing is, going back to the whole retirement thing, man, like, a lot of people are not thinking about, like, a generation is just thinking about living day by day. And I get it, man. We got to live day by day. But, think about where you see yourself when you're freaking 50s, late 50s, early 60s, 70s or whatever. Like, what are you gonna do with your life? You know what I mean? Where you gonna be at? Because you ain't retiring. I'm sorry to break it to you. Look it up. There's plenty of evidence that speaks upon this when it comes to finances. Like, unless you have residual income. Of course, that's from investments though. That comes from an investment. If you put some money in the right places, starting now, you'll be all right. Especially if you're in a good position. If you're in a good position, you got money, and you got money saved up. You got money here. You got money there. That's great. Keep expanding on that. You know what I mean? But don't lose track of that. But think about where you see yourself when you're older. And if you got to make some sacrifices today, do them. No, that's a given. You're going to have to make the sacrifices to be able to live the life you want tomorrow. That ties into a lot of what we just talked about when it comes to happiness, retirement plans, paying attention to what the world is turning into today. What are the possibilities and how it will affect you? Causa y efecto. Pa'l mundo. What they say, you reap what you sow. And that's not just when it comes to karma. That comes to that falls in what you do in life, period, to prepare for your old age, for your kids' future, for your parents or your parents for their kids. Like, it's just an overall term. You gotta reap what you sow, and some people don't sow enough to reap the rewards later on when they're at old age, man. I did hear something recently, and that'll be my last word for today. I read a quote that said, I don't know who my father's grandfather was, like, or I don't know who was this person 2,000 years ago, right? So eventually we'll be gone on this earth for longer than we were on it. Our legacy might live through 4 generations.
Oh, this is one thing this lady used to say. Hay más tiempo que vida.
And that is something to go and also remember to live the moment, the present, be able to enjoy with the people that you love, because they'll be gone and you'll be gone for longer than you live.
Word.
So thank you for tuning into the Cause and Effect podcast. We want you to tell us, does money make you, or does money equal happiness in your life? Give us your perspective. Let us know what your thoughts on that. If we missed something, or if obviously you have a different take on it, we would love to hear it.
Yeah, let us know what you think about our perspective. If you agree with it, disagree with it, whatever it may be.
And my condolences goes out to Fetty Wap. I wanted to mention in the beginning of the podcast, but I think to end off, I want to send my prayers to him. He's a local Patterson native, going through it right now. Lost, something that I think every parent fears. His 4-year-old daughter. You're in our prayers. And anybody that's going through some tragedy or going through some hard times, you're not alone. Reach out to somebody. Tune in to Check Your Mental on Mondays. You'll be able to hear some dope gems. Tune into Overtime. We have some dope episodes from some great people dropping gems, or BYOB podcast that drops gems every Sunday as well. UDM Network is full of gems, man. We got great people, great messages. Grateful for all the listeners and the people that tuning in. Go on www.causeandeffectpod.com. Cop you some merch. Shout out to all the people that have been copping the merch. Our fall collection will be coming out soon. And Jump Out got some things in the works, as well as some other people on the team. So, again, thank you always. And shout out to the Locks, baby.